Yo, 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 GeekOut Miami. Let's put it together for Nick, James, and Sam. Woo! There is no doubt that this is the best one that you guys have put on, so very good work. And the timing is impeccable. The timing is impeccable because since the beginning of this year, we have all been experiencing iOS 14. Who here, put your hands up, who's been experiencing that? Everyone, keep them up, okay? Keep them up if you have uncertainty now more than ever about your brand. Okay, so today what we're gonna be learning is how to overcome that uncertainty and how you can really scale your brand effortlessly with countless converting creatives. My name is Cody Iverson. I've been in e-com since 2016. Between the partners and I, we have launched and sold multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses. War Room member, Cartels member, like to party here and there, and I am co-founder and CEO of Viscap Media. What is Viscap Media? Viscap Media, we are a creative agency. We work with 7- to 10-figure D2C brands, and we help them scale aggressively through content that turns clicks into conversions. We do that for e-com brands, we do that for Amazon sellers, we do that for agencies, and we do that for networks. As you can see here, we do them for a lot of big brands that are in this room today, sitting around you guys, and what you'll be learning here is the same stuff that these guys are using. So you too can take this home back to your team and become one of those big brands. Where are we at right now? Uncertainty, we've already discussed that. Where are you guys at with your brand? How many creatives are you launching? How many new creatives are some of you guys launching a week? Nick, how many creatives would you say that on average your clients are launching?
Well, per brand on our media buyers that we have to have at least 5 edits.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean new launches. So a refresh or a recopy put, we're trying to be around 8 to 5 minimum a week per brand.
Okay, that's good. Brandon, back there, my partner, how many new creatives are you guys launching a week?
How? 50? Bullshit.
Okay. So the truth of it is, where we are right now is, as you can see, there's a huge difference there. A lot of us are oftentimes not launching enough content. And when we are, we don't know why it's working, how to recreate that success, and why does Zuckerberg always want to fuck with our cash, okay? That's where we're at. Now, where we're going to be going in the next 30 to 60 minutes, oh, and let me ask one question. Who knows what makes up a good video ad? What goes into it? Nick, what do you think?
I know this because I know your slides. It's a hook and it's a call to action, my guy.
Yep. So most often when we talk with partners, they say, oh my God, it needs a good hook and it needs a CTA. They don't understand that there are so many more things in between there that are what contribute to the success of your ad. So over the next 30 to 60 minutes, we're going to be filling in everything in between the hook, those question marks that you see there, and the CTA. When you do that, you will now be able to create countless optimized ads to launch each week. You can get up into that range of 50 to 100. You'll be using these in modular and scalable pieces, kind of like similar. So once you have those pieces, then you can plug them into the framework like James was saying. And what this all takes at the very end there is the audit and launch, and that's going to be the key here for everyone. The way that we do this is with the FEMSA approach. The FEMSA approach, which we'll get into in just a minute, will give you guys what you see here. So what you see down here is a PASS UGC framework, the same one or similar to what James was talking about. Now look at the video there. The title there, so product demo, that's a piece of the element that lines up. So you want to start looking at content in a way that when you see these pieces, you can identify them. Once you can identify them, now you can recreate it because you can understand what is contributing to the success. Make sense? Yep. Okay, bang. Who here works with an agency to create their content? Who creates it in-house? Good. The content creation roadmap is all the same, okay? You got production, post-production, testing and optimization, and pre-production. Pre-production here is how we make things a little bit different and what you guys can begin to do to have success like those bigger brands. It's where we're going to be spending all of our time today. This is the FEMSA approach for pre-production. The end goal, all the way down at the right side, the F, is frameworks. This is where we want to get to, the repeatable success that we want to have. What fills up your frameworks are the elements. The elements are the same across all advertising when you look at them, okay? However, it needs to be made in a modular fashion, so modular elements, okay? These modular elements have structures and segments, and we'll get deeper into that. Now, once we know what we're trying to do, which is the frameworks, identifying and getting those usable pieces, now we go into the auditing. The auditing is where you're going to create your library, your inventory, and take with what you already have. You guys can do this with what you already have. You don't need to work with us. You don't need to work with Nick. You can do this with the content you already have. And let's put that into perspective of why that's important. Nick, how much does a typical package cost for you guys for content?
What we want is at least $7,500.
$7,500, okay.
What they want to pay is usually around like $4 grand, $5 grand.
Sure. Yeah. It's cheap, right? Yeah. How many pieces of content is that?
6 to 8. 6 to 8 unique pieces. Let's say we got some UGC up in there, and there's maybe 2 to 3 storyboards.
Okay. Cool. So for easy math, let's go 8 pieces of content at $8K.
Yep.
That puts your piece per content at $1,000. Now, within those ads that you just got, those pieces of content, when you break them down into a modular fashion, you can now multiply how many ads you have. You could get 80 out of that. That would bring your cost per piece of content down to $100, which, as you're trying to scale aggressively, is going to be critically important right now because of iOS 14. You will no longer have I think it's loss fallacy to the content that you just spent $1,000 on. And it needs to be factored into your bottom line. Yeah. Make sense?
A lot of people, they will shoot the content, or they're like, well, do I have to shoot more content? Not necessarily if you understand the elements that are going in the key, which again, this is the shit that you put us on and why people kind of stick with what you guys do, because it's really difficult to do.
Mm-hmm. The important thing here is that when James was talking about creatives, and these guys want to just make these like super badass looking videos, oftentimes you'll find with a super creative video that doesn't have a structure, your elements are not going to be able to be reused very easily. You're not going to have a lot of like life out of them, and you're not going to be able to elongate the success that you could have with it. Frameworks. James was talking about it, but here's a deeper dive. You have all of these elements here, okay? This is a proven framework. It's produced 6- and 7-figure winning results many times over in many industries. They're tested, they're proven, it's plug and play, and they're repeatable. So when times get uncertain, you want to rely on your frameworks, always. This is where you're going to have the best chance at success, and it's where you're always going to know that you can take all of these elements and just plug them in there and expand. These are the elements. The elements are what make up your ad, okay? They're the components. Think of them as ingredients to baking a cake, a conversion cake, a big-ass row-ass cake. You've got anything from afterstate to authority to agitate to product results, your CTAs, which everyone loves, your hooks, your offers, etc. Across all of the frameworks that we've worked with, you'll experience these every time. Not all in the same ad, but this is all that you need. So take these to your team to help them start identifying what pieces you guys have been using for your success. Why modular? I mean, it fits in perfectly with what James said. Repeatable success for creatives. This is it. If you want to be able to repeat that success, you need to have it broken down and know what your ingredients list is. You can then take a successful element from one ad and put it into another ad, into another ad, and into another ad. You can really begin to extend the life of your content and lower the cost. Segments and structure, okay? if you have a product intro that has that has 6 segments, okay? So this element has 6 segments and 4 subsegments. So the way that you introduce your product even matters. You've got to know down to the deepest level of what this is going to be categorized as, so you can then recreate the same thing over and over again. So we'll watch this here, and you guys can tell me what you're seeing of how this product was introduced. Wait, hey. How do I play this shit? Bing.
We got you in a second.
Oh, what?
What'd you guys see? Which one of those segments of the product intro element were used there?
Can we run that back one more time?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
How many seconds was that? 7? 8?
Well, so there was, should be like 8 to 12. So each time that we're going to put in an element, it's usually almost always 4 seconds.
Per element?
Per element. Because the amount of time that someone needs to be able to read the copy and take in the visuals is about 4 seconds from what we've come up with to be like the ideal text size, which is important.
Okay. So authority, brand, social proof, and product. That's what I recognize.
Exactly. So in that case, we were able to mix in a number of those like product intro elements. So it didn't need just one. And the way that the video was flowing, we were able to compact a lot of them, bang, bang, bang. Anytime that you can introduce a product with social proof, especially PR and the number of reviews, thousands, social proof, is highly, highly effective. People instantly begin to believe that it's all that it seems to be. Structure. The structure of these elements is going to matter because that will be determined by which framework you're using, okay? For here, we have the discovery element, which is very similar to the product intro. However, because of the structure of this framework of where this would fit, it's different. It's more discovery. Can I play this?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy being clean just as much as I do, please listen up. I have the best thing that everyone needs that will change your showers and bath time from blah to luxury. Many people struggled with feeling dry and itchy even after taking a shower. Some people even spent thousands of dollars trying new body washes and soaps, and some even took it further and would get these expensive water softeners because they thought that the water
This
was
isn't
the
timed
issue.
correctly.
But with that,
Yeah, this just isn't timed correctly. Go ahead and play it. It's coming up right here.
I discovered you can say goodbye to all of that and start enjoying healthy, glowing, and soft skin. This is the Miracle Towel, and it is my new holy grail. These towels are made with ultra plush premium cotton that are infused with natural
Didn't really work how I wanted it. Bring it back to like 30. Yeah, right there. Okay.
enjoying healthy, glowing, and soft skin. This is the Miracle Towel, and it is my new holy grail.
Sure, pause it. Okay, so that's product intro essentially. However, because of the way that this script is written, it needs to be a discovery. Now, you're not gonna have that same style of writing in a text-driven ad. It just wouldn't sound the same. The tone and the perspective of who it's coming from for the viewer would be off.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, okay. Now, this is where you guys really need to start paying attention, okay? Now that we know that we're looking for elements and that they have different structures or different segments, and we know that we're working towards frameworks, how do we get there with what you guys already have right now? It's through the auditing, okay? You're gonna look at your winners and your losers. It's very easy. Winners and losers. Which ones worked, which ones didn't. Segregate them, okay? From here, we want to cross-reference. What was in this ad that was also in this ad? What elements are being repeated? Which one of these are leading to the success? The more often you see this element in the way that it's segmented is going to have a bigger indication that this is a winning element segmentation for you. These are the ones that you're going to want to be repeating. And the ones that you see here, so problem 2 for ad 1, problem 1 for ad 3, are not in common. That means likely that they are not going to be elements that are speaking to your audience and getting you results. So cross-reference them, break down your ad into these elements, and then begin seeing what's here and what's there. Now, you'll be taking inventory. Once you've cross-referenced it, you can see how many of these things do I already have that have led to the success. In video 1, all 3 of those first elements are winners. Video 2 only has a problem. So now your guys' inventory of usable footage is going to be 2 hooks and 2 problems that you guys can start working with. When you go down to agitate, you got 2. Product intro, you got 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Following? Okay. From there, it's plug and play. Take the elements and start plugging them into your frameworks. Start mixing and matching them. Now, when you do this, now you're going at it with an approach, with a educated approach. So now you can start looking at these frameworks and how they're giving, or how the data is coming back. And now you can really start split testing because you know how each one of these videos is made out beforehand. So recap it. Think of audit like this. Audit, A, analyze. U, what is usable. D, distribute them to your frameworks. A-U-D-I. I, integrate it. And then T, test it.
Fucking did it, dude. Nailed that.
Hey, spelling, bro. Yeah, I had a B in spelling. Make sense? That's what you're going to be doing with your audit. The end goal is going to be the frameworks, okay? It's where we're always going to be living. That's where we want to be. That's the repeatable success that James was just talking about is so elusive. The big 2 that we're going to be focusing on today, because Nick won't give me enough time. So the big 2 that we're going to be focusing on is going to be your hooks and your headlines and your UGC content, all right? Your hooks and headlines have the most possible segments or approaches into it. This is going to be where you're going to get the most lift, most impact, and oftentimes it's going to be the thing that determines the angle of your video. UGC content is incredibly cool because it can be a morphing element, an element morpher. It works on almost every single element, not all of them, just one doesn't work, okay? And one more thing on that. It works inside of direct response text-driven ads as well as standalone pieces, okay? So here, hooks and headlines. You have 3 segments, which is going to be your top, middle, and bottom of the funnel, okay? Now you have 6 sub-segments. That's going to be your awareness levels. Those match up directly with the segment of the level of the funnel, okay? That's important because how you speak to the people at that level of awareness is going to be determined off of how far they've come into your funnel. So you're able to create consistency. Over on the left-hand side, you guys are going to see there are a number of different hooks and headlines that you guys can use. We're not going to go through all of them. However, what we will do today is we'll watch each one of these hooks together and we can pick out what we're seeing working here.
Strawberry milkshake, cookies and cream, peanut butter cup. Believe it or not, I'm actually talking about my favorite flavors from my new favorite supplement company, Gainful.
What do you guys see? I'll give you a hint. This one is down towards the bottom, number 5. Sensitizing the claim. Strawberry milkshake, peanut butter cup. You're creating a sense of what they could actually be tasting. There's also what we call satisfying. So it's not just a hook in terms of a headline, but it's also a hook because of the way that it has been shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Nick, you liked this one last time, so I'll let you kind of work through this one as it comes out.
Understood.
Okay.
I've started and stopped more diets than I can count. I've done Weight Watchers, Atkins, South Beach, low carb, you name it, I've done it. None of them worked. In fact, some of them, I even gained weight.
First of all, the best model you guys ever use.
What's that?
Best model you guys have on the book.
I have no idea what he said. What did he say? Oh, her model?
Yeah.
Bro.
Can we run it back?
For sure.
I've started and stopped more diets than I can count. I've done Weight Watchers, Atkins, South Beach, low carb, you name it, I've done it. None of them worked. In fact, some of them, I even gained weight.
The first hook on this one is when it goes into your 4 segments. This is my favorite thing you guys done that we adopted from you wholeheartedly. That first 2 seconds where it's 1, 2, which is like a double screen, then it goes to triple screen, then it goes to 4x4. We run that in the majority of our ads as well. Why did you guys do it that way? Because I know it started making words specifically towards, like every single time it said what she tried that didn't work out, it moved away. So did you do the visual with the audio by design, or was that something you guys eventually got to?
So it is intentional. So when you think of words, when you think of copywriting, think of there being 2 types of words, okay? You have picture words, which create an image inside of someone's mind, and you have connecting words. Your connecting words connect multiple pictures, which then creates your scene. So after you've written your copy, your work is almost halfway done because the scenes are going to be pulled from how the copy has been written. So it's by design.
Got you.
Yeah. Okay. This one here is not necessarily one that you'll find in the list of 38. This one is a strong visual hook to give you an idea of how you can play with both, because both are important. Because you may not always have a great entry headline, so you need to get creative with how you can still have a scroll stopping hook.
Has this ever happened to you? You're walking alone at night, maybe from work or a friend's house, and you get the feeling that you're in danger? You shouldn't have to be on high alert when you're just walking home. Wouldn't it be nice if you can just take your time and not have to keep looking over your shoulder?
What do you guys think of that? Of course. Oh, wait, what'd you say? There you go. Great. Exactly. And then we also worked in case history. Has this ever happened walking home? You feeling scared? This shouldn't have to happen. Get this, there we go. Oh, wait. There. All right, go ahead, you can play that one. What'd you guys see there? What were we using? What worked? A what? Sure. This video slayed, so. Bad acting, sure. Major results. What worked? Why did this work? What did we do? You guys got to be able to identify this if you want to be able to create repeated success. My man.
use case.
Yep, use case, market call out. Any guy who's over 40 basically will automatically know, hey, this one is for me, because they're all aware that after you hit 40, your T levels begin to drop. So they're automatically listening. So it's as simple as that. It doesn't always need to be extremely complex, but just get their attention. For them, this is a very sensitive subject. Here we go again. You could play this one. This one is a satisfying hook. Pretty straightforward. That one's easy enough. Okay. This one is great. Go ahead and play this one.
You know it's really not like me to do a video like this, but I gotta let you guys in. Secret.
What'd you see? That one's got a lot in it. Let's unpack it. What's that?
Selling an awesome product.
Oh,
Biased
without a doubt.
opinion.
Yeah. Elite products. What else besides being a wonderful product? Correct. Yep. Tired of lagging energy levels? If you're a man over 40, what are you going to say? Yes. So that's one way that you can enter into your hooks, is if it's going to be a yes question or an intrigue question. Your yes question has to, without a doubt, get a yes. If they say no, you've lost. And an intrigue question will make them say, I'm not sure, but I'm interested. I'd like to know. Here, they're going to say yes. Then from there, what came next? Thank you. Can you play it again?
You know it's really not like me to do a video like this, but I gotta let you guys in. Secret.
There's the implication that this is scientifically validated, whereas the competition is not.
Thank you. You're a copywriter, yeah? Perfect. That's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. We've also done some sort of like sound to graphic design there. As the drums started getting louder, the scenes were changing much more quickly, but all in all, you are 100% correct. Thank you. Okay. This one here is just more creative. It doesn't really follow anything other than just visually creative, and you guys can tell me if it worked to hook you or not. No, I didn't do that. That's the wonderful man back there, Mr. Jason. Jason's eyelashes are the best. Telling you because I know. Nah. But my girlfriend has said they're amazing. He's done a very good job. Yeah. They're the lightest. The greatest, yeah.
Okay.
All right, last one. Play this one. Woo-wee! Don't you just love having a nice sparkling whip, but hate all the time, energy, and effort it takes to detail it? I know I do.
Who's that handsome
One of these actors we have, he's pretty good. So there, it was instantly open and relate. This is a framework that we call the relator. So it opens up with a very relatable topic, which is also your market call out. So people go, oh my God, this guy gets me. He's just like me. Woo-wee! The clapping too. high energy. We'll play this one here. It doesn't really have a framework, but it's another way that you can continue to have great impact with your hooks.
Oh my holy smokes, you guys! Are you getting this? Do you see this? Ah! Oh my God.
Hello.
Why do you think that worked? Visual. Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's very related. It's like very YouTube-esque, where it's like something that people are already spending hours and hours watching. So it's, I wouldn't say native, but it would be relatable, if they will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was shot with the intent to be almost like a YouTuber.
Got it.
Yeah.
My question is the aesthetic by strategy or is it for value, for cost?
The aesthetic in which way?
A lot of these ads, they're not overly produced. They're not.
Yeah.
So is that a cost or is that strategy?
It's both, for one. Most oftentimes, if your shit is way overproduced, it screams ad. You've got to realize that your content needs to look native to the platform, and that right now we are extraordinarily in a content creator world. That's why anything you see from TikTok slays right now. It shouldn't look way overproduced because people's guards automatically go up, and it becomes increasingly more difficult to be able to get through to them and get them to purchase.
It's kind of like the OG space of buy it on TV or buy me now, and it's like I know what I'm going through, but since it's selling so well and I kind of relate to it, I'm like I kind of feel comfortable doing this purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see that? Because obviously we want to do highly produced, because if the brand can say highly produced, because this is the same thing with Doe. They have a very strong brand aesthetic, but he needs to venture out into things that might not be relatable to specifically on his brand. That's how romantic are you about your brand?
Yeah. Most of what I showed you guys here are hooks for cold traffic videos. So we're going to have the least amount of branding on these videos because they don't even know who you are yet. While we do try to work them through all levels of the awareness in one ad, that's why they work so effectively here, we don't go too heavy because if we need to begin retargeting them, now they're familiar with us. Now we can actually talk about the brand. But here, they don't even know us.
Cody, can you play the dirty pillow one?
For sure.
Hey, sorry, quick question, Cody. So partially, you touched base on the topic of overproduction quality. Does these videos, they work well for premium type of products, or let's say maybe for the products that are like cheaper?
Mm-hmm.
And the second part, you also start talking about sort of like a marketing funnels. These videos, they belong like in the middle, at the bottom, at the top. Would they work for a brand awareness well, and can you apply the framework like you described for the brand awareness videos?
Sure. Yes, you could apply some of these hooks and headlines to awareness. Obviously, not all of them. Part of what you guys will be getting, there will be a link up at the end. I will be sending you guys more of these hooks and headlines as well as 2 frameworks, so that can kind of go into like where to use what. Okay. You wanted to see this one again?
Julian.
Oh, no touchdown.
I was just wondering, did you test an angle where, because you kind of implied that, it helps your skin, where like the girl starts off and she's just got acne, and then but by the end, her skin's totally clear. In other words, you target the acne market.
Correct.
And this is the culprit for it. Did you guys test that?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I do. That's so good.
I mean, we have the luxury of working with 2 other like pillowcase brands to know that it worked. It's worked, has worked.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great ad, man.
Yeah, thank you. Woo! Wait! Don't you just love?
Julian, huck it to him. Oh boy.
Ooh!
Of all the things.
Hey, your guys' choice of audio is just freaking amazing, by the way. When you guys are going through your framework, how much does, like, for example, that chick screaming, how much do you guys even look at that and testing different versions of that, different placements, or even like maybe instead of a scream, it's like, oh, like, does that go into the consideration phase?
Yes, we do test that, of course. It's really, we're really only going to test that on ads, and we can touch on this later. We're only going to like do that testing on ads that are hitting above needed metrics. That's usually not one of the first things we do unless it is in the hook, because the hook will be something that we test like hard. However, when you begin using what you guys learned here, the FEMSA approach, you're going to know like what hooks are working and what elements of that are like leading to the success. So if you have 3 that don't have a scream and 1 that does, what would you do?
I mean, yeah, I'd analyze it, right? I'd
Yeah.
analyze the, and then try to break down the components.
Would you add a scream to the other 3?
I guess it depends on the components if it works. I mean, obviously, like if it did work, then I'd maybe try a scream or ASMR, for example. Maybe that might be a better component, like a voiceover, but yeah.
Yep, exactly.
How do you convince, for some of the content that you have that's not branded, how do you convince the client to kind of go out on a limb and try some of the stuff that maybe wouldn't be approved by their branding team?
We've really only had to deal with this one time, and it was like well over a year ago. But it's just like knowing that there is a fine balance, okay? Most of the time when we talk to people, they want to achieve one thing, and that's higher conversions. That's why they do come to us. And there's a balance between overly produced, highly branded, and conversions. And you got to find the middle medium, and that's usually where our conversations are, is like, hey, let's find that medium. Let's add the direct response to what you guys have done in the branded side and meet in the middle.
Sometimes we're in the same boat, right? And I think now we as the media buyers, or we as the agencies, we as the traffic experts can't control Convo because of 14.5. And we're going, listen, we have to do something that you haven't been doing before, as you're already experiencing the decline in performance as is. So that way we're kind of in a better position of taking this narrative. And you also, the blessing is we do have data on this. Like, hey, you've been running this very, very branded-esque stuff. Worst case, I'll put my money on the line, we work it at cost, and be like, let me get this live because I believe enough in this to get it going. And I know sometimes you just kind of eat it to prove, because if you do crack it, that's usually you're getting, what is it, percentage spend, or you're putting on net, or maybe potentially top line rev.
Yeah.
So it does make sense at times to pay for the content if we believe in enough of it.
Okay, couple last critical conversion tips here for your hooks and headlines for you or your writers. Write hot, edit cold. It sounds stupid, but what that means is that you never start editing what you've written until you're done writing. It's 2 different parts of your brain, and when you try to do that, you lose the flow, your copy doesn't become as sharp. Use swipe files and then attach the strongest LF8 core desire to your headline when you can.
Oh my.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions there? I think we're all good. You guys are blowing up questions, so. Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
When you're taking the different elements of all the video creatives, so the different modules, like the puzzle piece you guys are putting together, in a practical sense, how are you guys organizing those in the library? Is there some type of like scoring system you put together, or do you just basically separate them into like winners and losers? Like practically, how are you guys organizing those as like a back-end system?
A naming convention, meta tags.
So pretty simple.
Yep.
Would you be able to open a computer later and just show them a little bit about it?
Questionable. I could talk much deeper on it, yeah. I can show you what we got. Yeah.
Cody, my question is, so our marketing is very story-based. Does the hybrid segment stuff, does that apply? Is there any way to apply it there? With a chronological story, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, so your spoken-driven scripts are still going to have, like, you're following a formula, right? With your story-driven ads, you're following probably a story arc formula. Exactly. So similar concept. Just identify what the story arc frames are, and you can do the same. They're going to be bigger frames, though.
And then just interchange wherever we think
is
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight.
Okay. UGC content. UGC content can be used in 2 ways, you guys, okay? More than that, but we're going to talk about 2 today. You're going to be able to put it in your direct response script-driven videos, and then you can also use them as an element morphing piece. When you do the morphing, you can basically turn all of the elements that you've had that are text-driven and now automatically bring them to UGC-style content. So we'll start here. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 or 9 that we typically refer back to and always use constantly for our direct response. They're basically like as seen on TV ads most often, okay? Now we're mixing UGC content in there, typically at least in the pass framework, which you guys will receive after the solution has been introduced to provide social proof. So that's what you're going to see here. Now you guys tell me after, which one of these direct response hybrid segments are you seeing?
I found better back.
I've been using it now, every week, once a day, 15 to 20 minutes, and it's incredible.
This thing is so easy.
My posture is much better. I can take it to sporting events.
Fixing my posture fixed my back pain.
I haven't felt this great in years.
What'd you see? Yep, exactly. So now you'll know when you look at your ad, hey, which one of these segments of the UGC content was I actually using? It's not just, hey, I was using UGC content here. Know which one specifically, what you were achieving with what they said. We'll look at one more here.
I don't usually give out my secrets to y'all, so listen up.
So excited, and I just can't wait.
This is called V-Cleanse by V-Fresh.
Sounds pretty easy. What'd you see, Ash?
Can you play it back again?
Yeah. Can you play it, Sam? Ding. Nope. Bing. Yep.
I don't usually give out my secrets to y'all, so listen up.
So excited, and I just can't wait.
This is called V-Cleanse by V-Fresh.
Yep, excitement.
Excitement. So that's big news. I don't really do this, but I got to tell you guys a secret. Big news, that's insider news, okay? Then excitement, and then product intro. Okay, here we go. This is where you guys are going to be able to get a ton of life and a lot more elements added to your library here. Very easily, very, very, very easily. Any of your winning elements, you can automatically turn them into UGC pieces. So let's watch this one here. You can see kind of how that works. Nope. Sam?
So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate cleaning my floors. I have hardwood floors all throughout my house, tile floors, and it is some back-breaking work to be scrubbing and mopping my floors.
What do you guys think? That's how you guys can use it, yes. Yeah.
What did you say, please? Coming in hot. He's gonna hit you.
Right, so the question was, the problem was tested in direct response first. They noticed that it worked, and then they made a UGC based on the fact that this sort of a direct response pain point worked.
That's how you guys can use it. However, how this is actually made is the video style framework that we're doing, it requires that UGC piece, and now we're mixing B-roll over it. For the framework that we're working on, we're doing the UGC content, adding the B-roll. So we have both to begin. However, to morph it, when you have these winning elements, now you can just double down on them by doing a UGC piece that aligns with it. Yep. Sam?
One more, Sammy.
So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate cleaning my floors. I have hardwood floors all throughout my house, tile floors, and it is some back-breaking work to be scrubbing and mopping my floors.
Did you get what you needed?
There's a lot of dramatization in these things.
Yeah.
And I know some brands are going like, there's no way I can get this going. We've had to go back and forth with brands and asking them, let us run this, because it's the general public that most know is not the quickest or the smartest. So the dramatization is actually for them to kind of consume what it is. And I know that is a hurdle for people to believe in at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really important because like these ads, there's so much noise. So like you need to make it like bigger than what it seems to really get the message across. So yeah, dramatization is something that you have to do. Yeah. Okay, we got another one here. Can we play that? This is for the after state.
My mid-morning crashes went away because I'm not drinking cheap coffee.
Pretty simple. For us, the way that we architect our ads, we're doing both of these at the same time, and then we're beginning to take inventory of them, of what worked, what didn't work, and then we'll begin to use UGC elements to begin morphing them.
My mid-morning.
Last one.
I can do my own eye exam. I can fill my prescription online. I don't have to go to a doctor's office. I don't have a copay. Makes my life much more convenient.
Same concept. Okay. Does that all make sense to you guys? How you can use these different elements, how you can use UGC inside of your ads, and how you can use them to morph your elements to get longevity, to lower your costs, and to add more to your inventory, your library. Good? Okay. From there, now, we are going to begin testing. We test with PLUR-T, which is path of least resistance, okay? You got to know that when you're testing creatives, you should only be testing creatives. That means that you need to use proven copy and proven thumbnails. From there, we go to gold mining, red, yellow, green. Nick, do you have something similar to this? Red, yellow, green. Red is below metric, cut it. Yellow, in between, green is scale.
Yeah, we have a correlation decision-making tree so that it's, depending on the day, 3, 7, 14, how long it's been running, we would have some sort of decision-making based upon where it is above or below. Soft metrics, hard metrics.
Mm-hmm. So we work very closely with the media buyers, but we also have our own metrics that we're looking at from the creative side. Now, while Nick asked me to put these on here, I didn't. So if you guys want to write this down, you're going to look at your video average watch time. You're going to look at the playthrough percentage as well. You're going to look at 25% plays, and then CPC cost, CTR. What you're looking for here is how long are people watching, and what do you need to get them to watch longer? Look at the other ads that you have that have a longer playtime, an average longer playtime, okay? If you have a low CTR, high CPC, but it's converting well, then you're gonna want to, let's say if there's a 12 seconds average watch time, you're gonna wanna throw in a soft CTA there, or you're gonna wanna throw in an offer, or something to get them to click off of the ad knowing that they're usually gonna bounce after 12 seconds, okay? Now, the rapid variations, this is really where you guys can elongate your initial costs and investments into ads, okay? The cool thing is that you can take that framework, that past UGC framework, and begin to see between a lot of these, let's say you're running 10 of them, which one of these elements are like the strongest. Why does that matter? Because not only can you create variations with different element or different frameworks, but you can also begin condensing them. Condensing is important, and Ash can speak on this a little bit, but now more than ever, shorter content that gets consumed is getting served more. And what did your rep say about shorter content? 15 seconds. So now, if you've run this longer ad, you're able to start condensing it, start chopping it down. You already know what's working. You got the winning elements, okay? From there, 80-20, we usually do 80% of the next round of content in proven frameworks, 20% for testing. That's what our clients usually like. For me, I prefer to go 70-30, 60-40, because no matter what, when times are uncertain, you can fall back on your frameworks. They're gonna be your workhorses. They're gonna be what keep you moving, and you got to constantly be testing, always. How much are you testing, Nick?
We're at 80-20, where we have to be testing the majority of the budget.
It's where most clients want it.
Evergreen versus sandbox, we already know what it is.
Yeah. So, but the more you can test, the better your chances are going to be finding another golden goose, another big winner.
question was, is there situations when your ads are longer than 30 seconds?
Most of those virals, most of what you saw today would be 60-second ads, 15 lines of copy.
15
Yeah.
lines of copy.
Yeah. Well, it's technically 12 and then 3 UGC spots, which are 4 seconds apiece. So the only caveat to that is if it's a spoken script, those can usually go as long as they need to be, but no longer. Okay? So that's it. Oh, shit. Wrong pipe, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll happen. Okay. Everything that you guys just saw here today is going to lead back into the frameworks which you're trying to fill with the elements. Audit what you have now. Use what you guys already have now before you come in or go looking for other options. Then write some new ads, some new copy that go along with those elements that have proven success. If you need to, shoot more of what has worked for you in the past. That'll be your inventory. You need a large inventory to really scale out horizontally. From there, edit it together and scale. Scale or fail, and I think, Ash, that's what you're called on Telegram, yeah? Scale or fail. There are no other options here. All of you guys got into business because you want to be the very best or at least have a sustainable life for your family. This is how you scale in uncertain times. Hit that link, and I'll send you guys the audit. We'll do an audit for you, help your team do an audit, and then we'll give you 2 bonus frameworks.
Cody, thank you, brother. Now, a lot of those questions got asked during the talk, which is, again, that's the nature of who we are, Geek Out. You're going to ask questions when we feel it. There's a lot of smart people in the room. Also, there's a lot of hungry people in the room, potentially, too. Right now, we are going to break for lunch. Do we have any immediate questions now? Obviously not go anywhere. It's day 1. If not, leave your shit where you want, and let's go grub.
Thank you, guys.